Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is a beautiful, slightly chaotic Tuesday, and I am running on 3 cups of coffee and pure adrenaline to get this out to you. The drama in Los Angeles is absolutely out of control right now, and I just have to sit down and talk it all out with you guys before my head explodes. And honestly, I don't even know where to begin because the writers are giving us absolute whiplash this week. The week of July 20th, 2026 is shaping up to be one of the most insane weeks we have had in a really long time. So let's just dive right into the deep end with Eric Forrester. We all know Eric has been on a total warpath lately. He literally dragged Donna out of the Forrester executive office and publicly humiliated her just because she kept Katie's secret about Hope defecting to Logan. And then he goes home and gives her the silent treatment. The hypocrisy is just staggering. Eric forced Donna to keep his massive health secrets from the entire family not that long ago, but now he demands one-sided loyalty. Give me a break. But anyway, Eric is gearing up for the launch of his highly anticipated haute couture line, and he decides to do this massive livestream press interview. But instead of talking about the clothes, he uses the platform to bash Logan Creations. He tells the reporter that Logan is trying to steal their thunder and steal their credit. And Katie and Hope are watching this live stream with their jaws just completely on the floor, but then something shifts. The spoilers are telling us that Eric makes a highly emotional confession during this interview. And it completely changes the family landscape. What on earth could he be confessing? Maybe he finally admits how much this family war is tearing him apart inside. Or maybe he realizes that pushing Donna away was a massive mistake. Whatever he says, it is raw and it is real, and it actually seems to pierce through all the anger. So, because of this emotional confession, we are seeing a massive ripple effect. Katie and Brooke are actually taking their first steps toward peace. Let that sink in for a second. Last week, Brooke was a literal banshee. She stormed into the Logan offices, violently smashed a monitor, playing Hope's promotional song, and declared Katie her #1 enemy. She even kicked Hope and Liam out of the cabin on the Logan estate. Just completely unhinged behavior. But now it looks like the Logan sisters might actually be burying the hatchet. I mean, how many times have we seen Brooke and Katie go to war over a man or a company, only to end up crying and hugging it out a few weeks later? The fans on social media are definitely going to have a field day with this. Is it too soon? Probably. But let's be real, the Logan sisters always find their way back to each other. And it gets even crazier because Katie is also going to have a heart-to-heart sit-down with Eric later in the week. If Katie can somehow broker a peace treaty with Eric, maybe there is hope for Eric and Donna's marriage after all. I just really hope Donna makes Eric grovel. She deserves so much better than being tossed out like yesterday's trash. But while the adults are trying to play nice and mend fences, the younger generation is literally burning the city to the ground. Let's talk about Will Spencer. My heart actually breaks for Will. He has lost absolutely everything. He was forced by Katie and Bill to keep massive corporate secrets from his girlfriend, Electra Forrester. He had to hide the fact that Hope defected, he had to hide Shauna and Wyatt's rival jewelry line, and he had to hide the HFTF diamond. And the crushing guilt just made him snap. He punched RJ in the stomach at the bikini bar, and then he repeatedly punched RJ in the face at the beach house. Electra was horrified, threw her necklace at him, and permanently moved out. And then Eric banished Will from the Forrester family forever. So now Will is in a really dark place. He is spiraling into a drunken depression. And there are still all those wild rumors floating around that his serial killer ex-girlfriend, Luna Nozawa, faked her death and is secretly having his baby this month. I mean, the poor guy is a walking disaster zone right now. So Will is wandering the streets, completely intoxicated, and he ends up back at the bikini bar because, of course, he does. And guess who shows up? Eric Forrester and RJ. Why Eric is hanging around the bikini bar, I will never know. But Eric immediately marches up to Will and barks orders at him to stay away from Elektra. And Will, who is completely hammered and has absolutely zero filters left, just looks at the Forrester patriarch and calls him an old man. He disrespects Eric right to his face and sarcastically says he'll do whatever Eric wants. And this is where I lose my mind. RJ Forrester decides to play the hero. RJ, who we all know cannot fight to save his life. RJ got pummeled by Will not once, but twice last month. But suddenly he wants to act tough in front of his grandpa. RJ runs up and grabs Will by the collar, acting as the aggressor. He initiates a physical brawl that he is 100% guaranteed to lose. What were they thinking? Who actually believes this is going to end well for RJ? So a massive fight breaks out. And Eric, trying to be the peacemaker, steps right into the middle of these two brawling young men, and Eric gets hit. He takes a severe blow to the face and ends up with a black eye or worse. Now, maybe I'm being too harsh on RJ, but RJ literally started the physical contact here. But do you think RJ is going to take any responsibility? Absolutely not. RJ immediately shifts all the blame onto Will, making the situation look 10 times worse than it actually is. And the fallout is catastrophic. Will Spencer gets arrested, a Spencer in handcuffs. This is an apocalyptic PR nightmare for Logan Creations. Katie and Bill just launched this brand. They just stole all the media attention away from Eric's haute couture show. And now their son, who is also an employee, is sitting in a jail cell for assaulting the patriarch of their rival company. The media is going to have an absolute frenzy with this. What if Katie and Bill have to actually fire Will to protect the Logan brand? Katie is going to realize that her demands for corporate secrecy literally destroyed her son's entire life. And let's just pause and talk about the glaring hypocrisy of the Forrester men for a second. Ridge Forrester has been running around town declaring an all-out war on the Spencers. Ridge literally went to Bill's office and punched Bill Spencer right in the face. But when Will gets into a fight, suddenly Ridge and Eric act like Will is this dangerous, unhinged psychopath who needs to be locked away. The double standards are just sickening. Ridge has been married to Brooke 9 times and divorced 8 times, but he feels perfectly entitled to lecture Elektra about toxic relationships and demand she cut ties with Will. It's just so frustrating to watch. But wait, the bikini bar drama doesn't stop there. Because lurking in the shadows is Melissa Dillon. Oh, Dillon. She is so messy, and I am honestly here for it. Dillon has been playing a very dangerous game lately. She was Daphne's assistant, then she got reassigned to be RJ's personal assistant. She and RJ shared this passionate, magical evening at the beach house after Elektra moved out. But Dillon has always harbored these secret feelings for Will. Remember when she had that bizarre medical fainting spell at Will's house and had a vivid hallucination about seducing him? Yeah, she is obsessed. So Dillon sees Will at his absolute lowest. He is drunk. He is heartbroken over Elektra. He is facing arrest. And Dillon makes a bold, calculated move to win Will over. She swoops into B's shoulder to cry on, probably hoping to take advantage of his vulnerable state. But how is this going to affect her career? She is working for Forrester Creations. She is supposed to be RJ's assistant and RJ's new fling. If RJ finds out that Dillon is throwing herself at his mortal enemy, he is going to have her fired so fast her head will spin. And what about her friendship with Elektra? Dillon is playing with fire and she is going to get burned. But you know what? It makes for fantastic television. Okay, let's take a breath and shift gears because we have to talk about the absolute horror show happening over at the hospital and with Deacon Sharp. Deacon is a fool. I'm sorry, but he is. Sheila Carter signed the divorce papers, legally ending their marriage. And Deacon, in his infinite, naive wisdom, actually believes that this proves Sheila has changed. He thinks she is reformed. He is so relieved that he can finally move on with Taylor Hayes. But we all know Sheila Carter. The fans on social media have been screaming at their screens for weeks. Sheila hasn't changed. She is faking compliance. She is putting on this fake smile and pretending she comes in peace just to lull everyone into a false sense of security. And the spoilers for the week of July 20th reveal that Sheila's mental state is rapidly declining. She is spiraling into a dark, unhinged obsession. She is sitting alone, obsessively stroking photographs of her grown son, Finn. Her descent into madness is threatening everyone around her. And Finn, oh my God, Finn, he is making the biggest mistake of his entire life. Sheila ambushed him at his hospital office, showed him the signed divorce papers, and gave him this massive sob story about how she just wants a chance to prove she isn't a threat anymore. She begged him to talk to Steffy, and Finn, whose heart is apparently made of mush, actually felt compassion for her. He agreed to talk to Steffy and advocate for Sheila to be allowed back into their lives. What is Finn thinking? Steffy is already a walking time bomb. She is dealing with the massive corporate stress of Hope defecting to Logan. She is trying to do extreme damage control for Forrester Creations. She is furious, she is volatile, and she is plotting ruthless revenge against Hope and Katie. And on top of all that, Steffy has severe PTSD from Sheila shooting her and Finn in that alley. Steffy has told Finn 1,000,000 times that Sheila is a psychopathic threat. She even warned Taylor that Sheila signing the papers was just a dangerous manipulation tactic. If Finn actually goes to Steffy this week and asks her to grant Sheila visitation rights with Hayes, Steffy is going to explode. This is going to be the end of the SINN marriage. Steffy has packed up her kids and fled to Europe for less than this. Finn promised Steffy she didn't have to worry about him betraying her regarding Sheila, and now he is doing exactly that. He is choosing his deranged biological mother over his traumatized wife. And Taylor is caught right in the crosshairs of all of this. Sheila wants Deacon back, and she views Taylor as the only obstacle in her way. Sheila realizes that Taylor is a dead end when it comes to getting access to Steffy, so Sheila is plotting to eliminate Taylor entirely. Taylor's life is in grave danger, and Deacon is too blinded by his own naive optimism to see it. It is just a total disaster waiting to happen. So, to wrap this all up, the week of July 20th is going to change the entire landscape of the bold and the beautiful. We have Eric's emotional confession potentially healing the rift between the Logan sisters. We have RJ starting a brawl that gets Eric injured and Will arrested, completely destroying Will's life and threatening Logan Creations. We have Melissa Dillon making messy, calculated moves on a vulnerable Will. And we have Sheila Carter losing her grip on reality, manipulating Finn, and setting the stage to destroy the SINN marriage and take out Taylor Hayes. I am exhausted just talking about it. The writers are throwing everything at the wall right now, and honestly, most of it is sticking. I just hope we can find a way out of this mess, and I pray that Steffy takes the kids and runs before Sheila does something unthinkable. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Am I being too harsh on RJ? Do you think Brooke and Katie's peace will actually last? And who is going to save Taylor from Sheila?